Yes, good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Tottenham Hotspur, hey? Tottenham Hotspur, the club that never fail to let you down. I think we've hit the brick wall now. I've tried to give the benefit of the doubt where possible. I feel I feel for him with the number of injuries, but the players just look devoid of ideas now. The players look devoid of ideas. I'll make as many as excuses for a manager as possible, but we are what we are 3 points, 5 points above the relegation zone, and I feel they've got to. It's got to happen in the morning. Now, what I was trying to say, I'm sure you saw me on Sean's channel, but idiots like Matt in there that were just trying to troll as always because he's a thick as shit idiot. What I was trying to say was I agree that the manager needs to be sacked. I just don't know where we go. I don't know where we go. And I don't know that they've got a plan to make it better. I don't know that they've got a plan to sack him and say, yeah, we can get this sorted. We can implement this guy, and this is what we're going to do. I just don't trust that they're going to do that. And this leaves us in a really precarious position. Now, I genuinely don't know if Vinay and Lang between them have got the capability to sack a manager and bring somebody in before the Arsenal game and make it better. And that's the point, right? I know there's a lot of people that just say anybody, but as fans, we can say anybody, but it's got to be the right anybody, right? It's got to be the right person. And look, I think that Frank has not helped himself. He's not helped himself in press conferences. I feel lately he could have come out and been a bit more firmer. But we are where we are. And we've now got a chance to rectify it. Now, 12 games to go, right? You've got 12. Hang on, let me just double check I'm right. We'll bring up the Premier League table in a minute. I mean, Spurs are currently sitting on 12 games to go and 5 points above relegation. Now, have they left it too late? What if we don't get the new manager? Bounce. Who is the man that's going to come in that's used to a relegation battle? These are all questions that when I ask, it's so mad that you ask this question and idiots in YouTube chats can't work out what you're saying. It's like when you ask those questions, they go, oh, you're sticking up for Frank. Literally said sack Frank. I'm just asking about the next bit. Who do we trust? Some people talked about Hoddle, but again, health. Harry Redknapp is 79, 80 years of age. Tim Sherwood's name has been mentioned. But again, have any of these got experience of a relegation battle? I'm just chucking it out there. You know, I'm just chucking it out there. So I think we're in a really, really precarious position here where, yes, something's got to happen. But who trusts the owners to make this happen? Who trusts these owners? These are the owners that have just let us down. I mean, we could go for decades, but these are owners that have just let us down. 2 transfers in a row, 2 transfer windows in a row, not giving us what we need. These are owners that can't communicate properly with us. And I don't know who that guy is, but it can't just be anybody. It can't. It can't just be anybody. And I know when we're emotional, when we're angry, when we're frustrated, we say anybody, but that doesn't really change anything. It's got to be the right person. Now, who is available right now that we can go and get, that we go, yes, that person has experience, right? That person has experience. So I'm just going to see if I can get the link to Lubo. I'm just sending the link in case Lubo can come on. He might not be able to, but so I'm all for it. Now, do I believe they're going to get this right? Do I believe they're going to get this right? I don't. I don't believe they will get this right between them. Thomas Frank said tonight, didn't he? You know, he was asked, is he worried about his job? He said no. He was with them yesterday. You've got the risk on both sides, haven't you? Sack him. What if you go down? Don't sack him. What if you go down? It's the same answer both times. And something that's just been said to me is quite interesting. I've just seen this is the list. This is the list of teams that tonight's team was signed from. We're in this mess because we signed from clubs who are in a mess. That's not what I said. This is what the message says. And it says this team tonight was made up with Empoli, Leeds, Genoa, Wolfsburg, Nottingham Forest, Burnley, Brighton, Metz, and Burnley. Right? Let that sink in. And again, if you keep buying bad players, you're going to be in this position. Now, there are those, and they're completely entitled. Please, can we not talk to anyone in the chat like this? And if that is for me, please, can we not talk to me like that? Come on, let's just be nice. People are entitled to say, right? People are entitled to say a new manager gets more out of his team. Fine. What if they don't? And again, I know a lot of people aren't intelligent enough, like my mate Matt, who I love what he said. I love. Did anyone see Matt in that chat? You said we'd win 3-1. If anyone actually watched what I said in my chat, I said 3-1, and I went, "Oh, I think that's my heart talking over my head." So this is a really difficult situation. If we were a really well-run club, they would have a plan and you go, right, cut ties, boom, next guy in. I don't trust them to do it. I don't trust them to do it. It's not that Frank shouldn't go. I don't trust what they're going to do next. I genuinely don't. And this is a worry. I mean, the way that Frank is talking is as though he's not going anywhere, right? That's the way that Frank is talking, that he's not going anywhere, that he's been assured. So, again, Ragnar, I'm just going to block you if you keep being a dickhead. I haven't taken an easy way at all. Stop coming into my chat and being a dickhead. It's really simple. I'm taking the easy way by asking everyone else. I'm the host of a show, you prick. I'm the host of the show. I have to ask people in the chat. Fucking moron. Oh my God. Sorry, everyone. This person has just been doing this all day. Little digs, little jibes. Even when I say what they want me to say, which is Frank out, they're not happy with that. Not happy with that. They need to act like twats. It's ridiculous. So yes, I am asking everybody, who's the guy? And do we trust Spurs to get the right guy? Now, are you going to bring in a manager immediately now for the future, or are you bringing in an interim? If you are not an interim, at what point? No, you're having a dig as always, mate. You're having a dig as always. I see you every comment. Troll. Who is the guy? Who is that interim? I don't know. I don't know. When people are going, give me name, I don't know who that is. That's the problem with this. This is my problem with this. We are up shit creek without a paddle because, again, there's no plan. Are they even going to sack? We're all sitting here like it's done. Like he's getting sacked. I don't know if he's getting sacked. I would sack him now because this can't go on. Does that mean that I automatically think we get better when he goes? No, it doesn't. Because the new manager coming in is coming in to a bunch of injuries and loads of players that can't score goals. So everyone can be a tactical expert tonight. Go, he played him there, sure. But when the new manager comes in, who is that person going to be that's going to accept the job with this many injuries? Another injury tonight, right? Another injury tonight. Right now, if you got a phone call, be brutally honest, if you were a top manager and you got a phone call from Spurs, you look in and go in, am I going there? Am I going there with them in this position? Now, I might go there in the summer because I can have a summer and I can build and I can grow. But right now, who's going to pick up the phone that's used to this scenario, that's any good, and that we all go, God, that's the guy? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. And this leaves me in a state of flux where I'm like, okay, I know the manager's going to go or should go, but who's the guy that comes in and what's his credentials? What's his credentials to come in? Now, people are talking Big Sam. Hasn't Big Sam been retired for years? And again, when you're all asking, we want different ideas. Big Sam hasn't got different ideas. Big Sam plays the long ball. So you have to, it is a real tough position to be in. Now, I wouldn't mind Sherwood. I think Sherwood's the right character. But can he galvanize this team? I say galvanize them. I don't know when they've ever been good. Can he galvanize this team and get goals into them? Can he breathe goals into them? Because it keeps getting ignored how bad our forwards are. It keeps getting ignored. So I want to know, who is the manager that picks up the phone and says, that's a great job for me to go to? Absolutely. I don't know who that is. I'm openly admitting I don't know. Lubo, do you know who that guy is that picks up the phone and goes, oh, I love the sound of that challenge for 12 games at Tottenham?
Listen, I think they've, at the end of the day, I think they should get rid of Frank tonight. No messing about. It's a massive slide down. We've gone from 3rd to 16th. You know, in any other business, if you saw a business slide like this, people would take action. These guys have just sat there with their hands on under their bum and done absolutely nothing. And it's now got to a point. I mean, I said on yesterday's show that I honestly thought we'd get out of it. But that first half performance quite shocked me, to be honest. There was just nothing. It was the worst I've seen all season. The worst.
So who comes in?
Well, they've got Heisinger there. I just think it's important to get Frank out. I think it may not be, I'm not saying it's his fault totally, not at all. He's been let down by Lang. He's been let down by the club. He's been let down by Levy over the years, you know, ultimately because, you know, and Joe Lewis, the wage structure has stopped us bringing in quality players, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I think we've got to a point now where if they don't change, this slide will continue because we're just, that's 8 games.
So Heitinger is the guy.
I think Heitinger is the guy that's there. He's the guy that's there, but they've got 12 days now to bring someone else in.
Do you believe, forget whether you want him to go, because we're just fans, right? Forget that we want him to go. Do you think he's going to go?
Do I think he's going to go?
The way he's talking would suggest not, right? The way he's talking suggests that he's comfortable.
Well, I was reading on one of the groups that Charrington's there tonight, and he never normally comes to matches.
I saw him there. He was there. He was there. He was in the crowd. Yeah.
People were getting excited that he's there to sack Frank. But if they do nothing, then nothing changes.
Sure.
And the results carry on. And if these results carry on, Sav, then one by one, the other, listen, there's only 2 clubs below us now. There's only, is it Forest and West Ham? And if we carry on in this form, then they will overtake us before the end of the season. There's no question about it.
Of that, I don't disagree. I just think, again, what we're asking for is, again, with no plan. Sure, but there's got to be we can't just say it's better than nothing. There's got to be a plan, right? And this is where we've fallen down before. There's no plan in transfer windows. We end up where we are. There's no plan. There was no plan when we sacked. Who did we sack before Nuno came in? Jose. Right? That we had no manager for like 70 odd days. The problem that you've got here, if you don't have a plan, it's all well and good saying the manager's going to take us down. If you don't have a plan, this club's going to be in disarray. Sorry, not going to be.
It is.
But yeah. But do you see what I'm saying? And that's all I was trying to say on Sean's chat. It wasn't that I was defending Frank. I think for his sake and ours, he needs to go. Right?
It can't get much worse. 2 wins in 17. It can't get much worse.
Sure. But the next guy that comes in isn't being bought in for it can't get much worse. He's got to come in because it improves, right?
Correct. Well, who would come in? Personally, I think now...
Brendan Rodgers?
Rodgers is a shout.
Is he available or did he go to Saudi?
I don't know. I wonder if anyone in the chat knows where Rodgers is. For me,
what?
Tim Sherwood.
Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers is Brendan Rodgers, professional manager, full player, is the head coach of Saudi Pro League side Al Qadsiya.
Okay. Right.
So not Brendan Rodgers.
Okay. I don't know that at the moment. The only choice they've got, and that without knowing who they've spoken to, the only choice they've got is Heisinger, because he's there at the club. He's the only choice. Go for broke, bring Alonso in.
He's not joining us now.
Can you imagine Alonso's agent says to him, your stock is pretty high at the moment. You go to Tottenham and they go down. What does your stock become then?
Yeah.
So no, you don't see any agent allowing Xabi Alonso to come to Spurs.
Can you imagine Xabi Alonso's agent? Xavi, they've asked if you want to get them out of a relegation scrap. Boo.
Don't think
What's
so.
he going to come here for?
Sam Allardyce. Bring Big Sam in.
Isn't Sam busy doing adverts now with Alan Pardew and Tony Pulis?
Bring him in with Neil Warnock.
Yeah.
We'll get Ian Holloway.
Let's get a bit of Kirbish in the fucking biz.
Yeah.
Sean, we were just talking about, as I said, I'm trying to separate the conversation. I'm talking about, yes, I acknowledge that Frank needs to go. Now, whether or not that happens isn't down to us, it's down to the board. But my massive worry on the other side of this, Sean, as we were saying on your show, is I just don't trust whoever it is in this club to make the right phone call, to get the right person. And because of that, I feel like we'll be left with Heitinger, who for me is a very unknown quantity here, right? That's not someone I can go, he'll get us out of trouble. So where are you with the whole thing? Obviously, now you're not hosting, you can talk a bit more.
Oh, I think I talked a lot in the last show, to be entirely honest. That never stops me.
I was being polite.
Yeah, that doesn't stop me at all. I'll say what I've got to say. No, I think I'll take Heisinger. I think the club has to make a decision, and I think the decision to keep him is the wrong one. And I think that I need to see Vinay make a tough decision. If he is basing this notion that, well, I stuck by Arteta and it worked, therefore I'm going to stick by Thomas Frank, it's not the same scenario.
Different
right?
club.
Arteta, different club, different size, different manager, different players. Yeah. You know, Arteta had the stones to say, all right, if you're going to back me, then cool. But then I need you to get rid of this guy, this player, that player, cut that guy out, get rid of Aubameyang, get rid of this guy, all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Thomas Frank hasn't made any decisions around dropping any players, and it's like he hasn't got, in my opinion, Thomas Frank hasn't got the balls to make tough decisions, right? He didn't drop Jed Spence when Jed Spence threw the shirt on the ground when he walked off and disobeyed him. He didn't drop or in any way. There was no repercussions for Mickey van de Ven, for Destiny Udogie. There's been no repercussions 3 times for Christian Romero. There's been nothing. I don't know anything about Johnny Heisinger. So whatever you're going to tell me now, I've got no idea.
I remember him as a player, but look, I've just literally gone on to the. I've gone on to the surface level of his management career. I mean, I don't even know what I meant to pick the bones out of that, if I'm brutally honest, guys. Like, all I know is that for Ajax, only winning 5 out of 15 is shit. But I don't really know. I don't know what we get. I couldn't sit here right now, guys, and tell you what's his style, what's his personality. I don't know.
No idea. Well, Ajax are not the same team in the last couple of years as they were. No. So again, I don't know if that 5 and 5 and 5 is like better or worse than Ajax's previous. I don't know. I don't know. But like, what I can tell you is I do know a few Liverpool fans who I know very well, and they tell me that Johnny Heisinger was really annoyed when the club didn't retain him. At Liverpool, he was well respected. All I can tell you is that.
I must say,
at least by the fans. I don't know.
If Heisinger in the last 12 got 4, 4, and 4, I'd be absolutely delighted. I've got to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I mean it's an interesting one, right? Because you know, the board have got a massive decision to make. Let's actually talk about the decision. We're all talking about it, right? Like it's happened. Does that make sense? We're all talking about it like Frank's gone. Let's talk about it from the point of view of we've got 12 days between we're playing that small team. Arsenal, right? We've got a home game, North London derby against Arsenal. Now, this can go one of 2 ways. One, do you want to give a brand new manager his first game is at home to the team that look like they're champions elect? 2, do you want to give him 12 days to be able to come in, settle down, have time on the pitch with the players, and the crowd change atmosphere because it's a new manager for Arsenal at home? Does that make sense, guys? Like it's which way do you guys look at this kind of pendulum?
I spoke to quite a few of the guys I was talking to today at the match were all saying Frank will go, have the ball left it too late. So listen, you can't turn back the clock, but what you can do is you can give a new manager as much time as you can to get in and settle in, get his feet under the table, and prepare the team the way that he wants to prepare them. If we have a Spurs team going out under Frank, the chances are we'll probably be 4, maybe more down at half time against Arsenal, because the way we start, the way we play every first half is just disgraceful. So they're just going downhill fast. So they've got to stop the rot, and they've got to bring somebody in very, very quickly. Whoever it is, they should have been.
Do you think he's going to go though, Lubo? Is the point I'm making? Like, do you believe that we wake up tomorrow? And I know Sean's got thumbnails ready to go, and like he's me as well as a YouTuber. We're like, oh, first thing in the morning, I'm getting my thumbnail guy to give me a.
I've already got more thumbnails based on tomorrow's than I actually have thumbs. That's what we're dealing with. I've got 3 or 4 different alternatives.
Snell's had his ready for 6 months.
But will they, Lubo? Because again, the way he was talking tonight, again, pinch of salt, but the way Frank was talking, was, I was with them yesterday. You know, like we were buds, we were having a coffee, and everything's good. And every time he talks, it feels like he's been assured that he's going to see it through. And when Lang talks, when Vinay talks, it all talks very much to, we're looking forward to next season. Does that make sense? So is he going to go?
Nick Boucher should have been reaching out to agents to talk to them about other managers for the last few weeks.
Should is a big word.
Should. No, I obviously I have no idea whether he has, but the results have been getting worse and worse and worse. And at some stage, you know, you can't just sit there and do nothing. And you know, he's been brought in by his mother-in-law. Why was he brought in? Because obviously they don't know what's, you know, they don't have the skill sets to turn it round. So they brought him in to do that. They're obviously unhappy about it.
And who the fuck is he though?
Sorry?
Who is he and why?
Well, that's the question. But even if he picks up the phone and starts having a chat with David Pleat, that's a step in the right direction, because Pleat's Mr. Football. He knows Pleat's got great football knowledge, and Pleat is there. He's there to talk to bounce ideas.
We keep talking about like 90-year-olds to save this club. We keep talking about like Redknapp and Pleat. We might as well talk about Sir Bill Nick. Do you know what I mean?
That would be a little bit difficult. But
get him in the dugout.
Listen, you asked me. I think they've got to. They should have been speaking to people by now. You know, you just can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. I mean, tonight I was shocked by that. As I said before, I was shocked by how passive and how poor we were in the first half. It was just appalling. It was the mother of all first halves tonight. Let
me ask Rain. Rain, when I asked this question just now, without you opening your mouth, you were very much no. You don't think he's going, right?
I don't think he's going. No, I don't think they've got. I think it's been quite well documented just how inept we are actually making decisions. Just like if you look in the transfer window, we've been doing the right things. We've just been doing it really, really, really slowly. You know, in the January transfer window, they needed to make some tough, hard decisions to put the squad on some kind of level, and they didn't make them. They passed over all of the key decisions, like letting Mawani go and going and getting John Durant. You know, that's it. Going and getting Lookman and maybe getting him on a 6-month loan. They passed over so many of these hard decisions because they don't want to make them. They don't want to make them. They would prefer to postpone. It's classic big corporate stooge. I'm gonna delay and postpone and procrastinate, and the problem will solve itself. Well, sometimes it doesn't solve itself. Sometimes, and in football, it's the harshest result. Sometimes you get shotted, and that's what's happening at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. I don't think they've got the plan. I don't think they've got the cojones to actually do what needs to be done.
I mean, Sean, do you agree with what Rain said there? Because I'll be honest, mate, as much as I can sit here tonight and go, right, I've hit my brick wall. You know, like when we get new information in life, it changes our opinions. And I've hit a brick wall and said, right, I think Frank needs to go. Sure. That doesn't mean I believe he is going. So do you believe they're going to, Sean? I genuinely don't. I don't.
If he's not gone by tomorrow evening, then he's not going. And unfortunately, I think Danny Kiriaku's been right. Never say this. I will never say this to his face.
Sorry, what?
I had the chance to say this a minute ago. I didn't say it to his face. I'm sure he's watching. Danny said the second that the Brentford guy from the medical team was brought in a few days ago, Danny turned around. I thought the same thing, but I saw the news, and then as soon as it came up, it flicked up into the WhatsApp group. Danny said, ooh, sorry. Now we're talking about a solution. Get me that guy in. Content's going to content. Savva, do me a favor, okay? I know you say new information changes your mind. It's a good thing. It's a good place to be. If De Zerbi comes in, don't retire your channel, bro. It's going to be fucking fun. It's going to be fun if De Zerbi's here, mate. Stick with the plan, Batman. De Zerbi's the chaos manager we all love.
Well, just quickly, Sean, before you continue, can I just show you guys this, right? Because I thought this is quite funny, right? So I've just done just a simple search on Odds Checker for the next Premier League manager to leave post. I don't think this is going to surprise anyone. Thomas Frank has dropped tonight to 2-5 to be the next manager to go, right? Yeah. So he's odds on with the bookies. I then took that one stage further and went, who's the next odds for the next permanent Spurs manager?
De Zerbi?
And Poch is 6-4 and De Zerbi has gone in at 5-2.
Ooh-wee.
Now, can you imagine a world in where Mr. Explosive De Zerbi, who cannot keep his emotions in check, is manager of Tottenham with this ball?
Mate.
Well, he's just been sacked, isn't he?
Listen, I'm not advocating. I want this on the record, okay? Because I know everyone's going to say, you wanted De Zerbi if it happens. I want De Zerbi for one reason and one reason only, because content's going to content. Not because I think it will be a success, okay? I think it'll be an abject fucking chaos storm where you might do well. But content has got to content, and De Zerbi is an absolute live wire of a human being. Okay, I don't know. I don't think Poch will work at Tottenham. I'm with you, Savva. Okay, I don't think Poch will work with this current system at the club. The club needs the full reset, right? It needs a nuclear bomb dropped on the football club. Everything starts again. So if you're just going to change the manager, nothing's really going to change. You need a new director of football. You need a new ethos. You need new owners, right? You do. So I'm not advocating a strategy that will ever get us to a point in the near term where we're going to be like, oh, we're back where Arsenal, we're back fighting with Arsenal again. That's miles away from my thought processes. However, De Zerbi, yes, please. That guy is fucking chaos. He's chaos.
And let's be clear, it's the most viable solution that anybody has come up with tonight. I've heard
he's chaos, mate. He plays great football. There's going to be every day. There's going to be sparks. There's going to be controversy. There's going to be arguments. It's going to be fucking amazing. If people enjoy Tottenham content under the boring guise of Thomas Frank, just wait. I'm going to have new jingles. I'm going to get a whole season 2 of jingles lined up. I'm going to be learning new songs on the guitar. I'm going to get a MIDI keyboard. It's going to be face masks. It's going to be wigs. It's going to be accents. It's going to be madness. If we can get De Zerbi in, I'm all for it. A little bit because I think it will be fun for Tottenham, but yeah, more so because it will be fun for us as content creators. Yeah, brilliant, Savva. It'd be absolutely brilliant.
I mean, can we talk about this? I mean, Rain, actually, let me go to Lubo, because Lubo, you are somebody that is very much on the, tell me if I'm wrong. Sorry if I'm speaking out of turn. You are someone who's very much on the Pochettino. He's the guy. He can make it happen again. He knows the club. He understands what we are. Do you truly believe that bringing him back while we're like this isn't this just dropping him back into worse than what he left? Isn't this like going back to your ex, but all of the shit reasons why you dumped each other are all there? All of the issues are still there.
At the moment, as we stand tonight, yes, it could look completely different in the summer.
Could it?
It could do. Listen,
really?
It's the hope that kills you. And I've always tried to be glass half full. But there were vibes sort of coming home tonight. I still think we'll stay up. It might be tight, but I still think we'll stay up, providing they bring someone else in. But it was like watching that first half took me back to the relegation year. Some of those performances in that year where you just looked at the team and it was just shocking. It was just shocking, and you just felt as though there was no help, no hope. And you knew the second half was going to be better because that's what we do. we always we come good for a period of time in the second half. It doesn't seem to do too much good. We don't seem to come back and win. We nick the occasional draw. I mean, early on, we came back at Brighton. We came back at Bodo. We've come back against City. I'm sure there's one more that we've done where we've come back from 2 goals down. But we start so slowly, and tonight was just dreadful. And tonight was though there were very few players out there that can say they came away with any credit whatsoever.
I would say other than Xavi Simons, who, by the way, I don't think it was his best game, but I thought that he was.
He tried.
He tried. I thought that there was some abysmal, truly abysmal performances. I mean, first of all, Vicario, I'm going to call it, guys. Sorry if this upsets any of you. This is the worst goalkeeper. I think I'm going to call this. I think this is the worst goalkeeper we've had in the Premier League era. There you go. I don't care. I think he is shocking. Everything gets parried out straight in front of him. He doesn't command his box. Whenever the ball is at his feet, he looks like he's never played the game of football before. Sorry, I'm not blaming him for tonight, by the way. I just think he epitomizes Tottenham. We went cheap. We bought a relatively unknown cheap goalkeeper from Italy instead of paying out for Raya, who anyone who tries to tell me that Raya is not better than Vicario have a day off. And that for me sets the tone.
You got to ask Sean's chairman why he wouldn't spend the money.
My chairman, who would never have us in this position if he was still here, that guy.
Oh. He's caused this position. Him and Joe Lewis have caused this position.
No, he hasn't.
This is all these years.
He left us as Europa League champions, mate. Come on,
he left. Yeah.
I mean, at some point you'll wake up and realise, mate, that Daniel Levy
he left us in a horrendous condition.
At some point you'll wake up and realise that Daniel Levy wasn't the problem. The rest of the Levy outers are waking up to that idea, mate. Lubo, you're just too attached to your opinion about that, and you can't.
No,
it's the hill you're going to die on.
He was dreadful. Wouldn't pay the wages.
Can we have a conversation that's not about that, though, Luke?
Pay the extra money for transfers, and here we are now. Here we are now.
Can we have conversations about things other than Daniel Levy, Lubo?
Yeah, we can. Well,
Vicario today, surely it was easier to smother the ball than parry it out to parry it out to the Newcastle guy to tap home. And on the commentary, they were like, no Spurs player has got. Well, excuse me, the Newcastle player is heading towards the goal. That's the whole point. Right. He's actually going towards the goal. The Spurs defenders are going away from the goal. So when Vicario parries it away, of course the Newcastle guy's there first. Because he's going in that direction. It's absolutely atrocious. I reckon, I'm not this sad to go back and have a look at all of our goals. I reckon Vicario is at least indirectly responsible for at least 80% of our goals. Nowhere
near, Rain.
Just like the second United goal, where his distribution is so rubbish, he passes it to a United player. Within 3 touches, it's in the back of the net, and that's on Vicario, not on anybody else. And there's so many.
I just think, but isn't that? Listen, I'm not singling Vicario. It's just the first player I mentioned because he's the goalkeeper. When I look through the team, though, and forget who the new manager is and Frank out and all that, when I look through the team, I just don't know how over the years so many of these players have been signed off. And my mate sent me this, right? My mate Ash sent me this, and I read this at the beginning, right? When you look at where we bought all these players from, the players that played tonight, Empoli, Leeds, Genoa, Nottingham Forest, Burnley, Brighton, Metz, like Wolfsburg. You look at it and you go, bloody hell, like if you keep signing from all the teams that are below you, you're going to turn into one of those teams, right? And Vicario sums it up for me. Guys, I don't know about you. I don't want to fall out of love with Tottenham Hotspur. I don't want to, but they're making it really difficult for me to be really energized and passionate about this football club. And it's getting worse and worse and worse year on year. I feel like the signings we make are just shit. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Let's one of the massive problems today is exactly the same problem that we've had all season. We've got no left-hand side. We've had some slightly better performances, if not results, over the last few games. Why? Because we've actually had a player on the left-hand side who's got a left foot and understands how to play on the left-hand side. It's no surprise as soon as he comes out, even our performance just drops off like a stone. We're so lopsided, and we knew this in the summer, and they did nothing about it. And the worst thing is, we knew this in January, and they've done nothing about it apart from get a 19-year-old Brazilian who played his 25th professional game.
Yeah, and he should have played tonight instead of that bozo Jed Spence, who clearly wasn't fit or clearly wasn't interested. One or the other. But even like out of those 9 corners that we conceded in the first half, pretty sure about 7 of them came from that side.
Sure, but the point is, I know whether he should have played tonight though. The point is right from Rain. Like that we've gone into another transfer window where this club are again concentrating on 19-year-olds that have played 20-odd games of football. We did it with Gray. He played how many games? We did it with Bergvall. He played how many games? We've done it with Tell. We've done it with Odegaard. We've done it with Valise. I mean, we did it with Papa Sarr when he was 17. Whenever we can't keep doing this.
Other clubs focus on tomorrow once they fix today. We don't. We worry about tomorrow, not about today.
Agreed.
And don't get me wrong, I don't think Spencer's a bad player at all. But he's not a left back. Every time he gets the ball and he tries to progress forward on that left-hand side, he's going nowhere. He's going nowhere. He's got no left foot whatsoever.
Yeah, but Rain, he can play left back, mate. But if someone was to sit there and say, I disagree that the players aren't playing for Thomas Frank, name me a player that looks like he's downing tools, he would be the first person that I would point to.
See, I don't think they're downing tools because of the fact that, look, we're not getting ripped apart by teams, right? I feel like if you're really downing tools, you're taking 4s and 5s and whatever. I don't think they're downing tools from that aspect. What I do think is they just look disinterested in terms of shape, pattern, going forward. We look disinterested, disorganized, whatever you might say. Again, that's not trying to stick up for Frank, but we keep losing by this odd goal. We're losing by the odd goal, But again,
it's not always the result. It's the manner of the result, Savva. We were buried today. The first half, we could it wasn't a close game. It was a close scoreline, but it wasn't a close result. They destroyed us from most of the game. Same with Chelsea, right? Monaco, we managed to get away with it. We could have been 6-0. Bodo, we could have lost that game 3 or 4. There's plenty of games this season where we're holding on. We're hanging on for dear life to get away with a 1-goal defeat. It's not like we've come away with most games where we've lost by 1 goal here or there, where it could have gone either way. There's been a few games recently, which is when I gave Thomas Frank, credit. I said, you know what? Bournemouth could have gone either way. It was an open game. Could have gone a different way on a different day. Villa could have gone a different way. West Ham could have gone a different way. Burnley could have gone a different way. But for the most part, when we lose by 1 goal, Jesus Christ.
My worry is that Millwall.
I do that.
I can't believe it. Millwall mates, it will be unbearable.
Wrexham are in the playoff spots. Wouldn't put it past them. No, but my argument is just that sometimes the result can look like it's a goal here or a goal there, but the performances don't match.
Oh, sure. Listen, I'm not condoning it at all. I mean, I was utterly gobsmacked at how I looked at that Newcastle lineup and I thought, okay, I think Willock's a decent player. Ramsey's a decent player, but hey, this isn't Tonali, Joe Linton, and Guimaraes playing together. Surely we can fight and muscle out of there. Basuma's first 45, he came off at half time. The 45 minutes from Basuma summed everything up about that man. He is either brilliant or dog shit. He is never in between, is he? He's never in between. And today, guess which one he was? He was atrocious.
Atrocious.
And again, you're thinking, come on, you're looking at Sarr, who's a runner, Gallagher, who's a runner, Basuma, who's a runner. You're thinking, surely they can fight that midfield three of Newcastle today without Tonali and without Joe Linton. They just ran through us. They just every pass, you thought that's going in behind our defence.
Yeah.
Every pass, that's going in behind Spence or Gray. It was just dreadful.
The goal that was disallowed was absolutely Basuma to a T. He was playing the 6. One of the Newcastle players had the ball. He got attracted out to it. He should have stayed exactly where he was. There was no need for him to go charging out into central midfield. Stay where he was on the halfway line. He got attracted out. The Newcastle player played it to his mate next to him, who played it in front, who played it round the back of Basuma. They've just cut us open with 2 passes, and Basuma's given it to him. He's absolutely rubbish. He's a Samba footballer. Any type of, if you give him time, let him play his little football, he'll look amazing. But any kind of pressure, just like Newcastle did today, where they press, and he folds like a pack of cards.
You know the other player who was abysmal tonight, absolutely dreadful, was Conor Gallagher. Appalling.
Yeah, he had a stinker tonight.
Oh, shocker! Absolutely,
he didn't look fit. I don't think he looked fit. He looked like he was blowing out of his arse early doors.
Yeah,
in
reply to what Sean said before, Sav, we've lost 11 league games. We've lost 8 by the odd goal. We've lost by 2 to Man U on Saturday, and we've lost by 3 at Forest and Arsenal. But you're right. We are. I mean, listen, Vicario saved us from a few thrashings this season as well.
He's shit.
He's not shit. He's not shit.
He is shit. No, sorry. He is.
I wouldn't blame him for either goal tonight. I wouldn't blame him for either goal.
But how many times do we need to see Vicario parry a shot right in front of him? Goalkeepers are taught to parry to the right or the left of them so that the ball goes away from goal.
And that was a concern. That was a concern when he first joined. I remember a lot of us looking at the kind of everything reel of him on YouTube and going, looks like a good shot stopper. Then half parry things in front of the goal though. Parry things. I remember having that conversation a year and a half ago.
Yeah, he got pelters in the ground tonight when there was one ball that came in virtually under his bar, and he punched it out instead of catching it, and the fans went berserk.
Sean, you could have had your dream. Here you go. De Zerbi keen on a Premier League return, a candidate for United and City. Spurs also tried for De Zerbi prior to.
Yeah, that's why one of the reasons why Paratici left. Paratici didn't want Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank knew that, and so when Paratici came in, back into his real-time job, that's part of the reason why there was a fucking click. Paratici wanted Akliouche,
is he?
Paratici wanted Akliouche.
Correct.
Thomas Frank and Johan Lang got their little sweet, the fucking Danish house mafia. I went, no, we'll go after fucking Paqueta instead. And Paqueta went, yeah, it's true. Chelsea and Tottenham wanted me, but I wanted to go back to Brazil. The reason why we don't have another forward right now is because the Danish house mafia cop-blocked Paratici, who didn't want Thomas Frank in the first place. By the way, not defending Paratici, because he joined the club knowing that. But
yeah. Sean, if that's the case, then I'm absolutely fuming, and even more reason for Frank out. If that is true, but I mean, first of all, De Zerbi to Man City, I cannot imagine that De Zerbi is good enough for Man City. But let's get back. I'm sorry, Vicario. I'm sorry. I have thought this is now. How long's he been here? Is this his 3rd season? I never ever feel safe with that man in between the sticks. He is. I thought I'd seen some poor goalkeepers in my time as a Spurs fan. This guy is down there with the worst of them for me. I don't know what his strengths are as a goalkeeper.
We've had Barry Daines, Mark Kendall. We've had a few.
Sure, but Lubo, we're not all 95. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going by in my time, right? Listen, okay, let me ask you this. Would you have, and listen, we're all of age here, we're all of age. Would you have had Vicario over Casey Keller or Neil Sullivan or Paul Robinson? I wouldn't.
Robinson, no. The other two,
Paul Robinson was quality.
Sorry, the other two for me weren't.
Sullivan.
Neil Sullivan's miles better than Vicario.
Way better.
I'd take. Was it his name? Eston Bardson. Remember him?
Eston Bardson.
Eston Bardson. He's a quality shot stopper. He was.
Go on, Eston.
Do you know what? I've been very blessed. Jennings, Clements, and Lloris in that order for me. The top three keepers that I've seen, and Vicario's nowhere near. Nowhere near.
No, but again, it was another. But again, Lubo, at the time, again, this is what we do. We bring in these people, and some of them work out, some of them don't. But we bring them in because they're cheap, on cheap wages, cheap fees, and we hope for the best, right? Vicario, for me, I said at the time, felt like a really lazy bit of scouting, right? Really lazy bit of scouting. Brentford have got a better goalkeeper than us. Brentford have got a better goalkeeper than us.
Well, we went in for Raya, didn't we? Why didn't we get him? It's a good question. I'd like Mr. Levy to answer that. I'd love to hear his answer.
Mate, stop bringing it back to Daniel Levy, Lubo. Fucking hell. He's gone. Change the record.
He's left a fucking legacy that's horrendous.
Here we go.
That is horrendous. That is affecting this club, and we are in the mud at the moment. Big time. A lot of it is down to him.
We've got our Tottenham back.
We've got our Tottenham back.
I'm joking. No, listen, Lubo, you're right from the point of view, guys. I want to go on to this next. Is do we all agree on the panel that Frank should go, right? We all agree that he should go, right?
Yeah.
We're not all agreed that he will, but we agreed that he should.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Sure. Right. We're all agreed on that. Right. Are we all agreed, though, that whoever comes in as manager full-time in the summer, this is just now, it just feels like a completely thankless task with the setup that we've got. Do we all agree on that, or is anyone with a slightly different take?
So the more I read, because I've watched it and then I've read it a couple of times, and I'm reading it's even worse. The more I read Lange's interview, I said this to Sean earlier today. The more I read Lange's interview after the January transfer window, the angrier I get, because that guy is neglecting our club. He is a corporate brown-nosed stooge who needs to get out. He is absolutely destroying our football club with his
useless.
Yeah. He has no idea what he's doing. None. Zero. And you're right. If Pochettino steps in and this guy is building the squad for him, right? I watched Moneyball the other day. Fantastic film. You've got the coach, right? And you've got the coach, and the squad is built by the general manager. And effectively, in modern day football, the director of football builds the squad for the coach. That's the way that it actually works. People don't want it to be that way, but that is the way that it works. And our director of football, who is effectively Lange, because we sat on Paratici in his purgatory for a period of time, we've given the keys to a guy who doesn't know what he's doing. He is, you can see it. He's drowning. He's pretending. He doesn't know how to do the job.
Yeah, I mean, Sean, let me ask you on this, because obviously, people always associate you with owner kind of conversation, right? With like over the last few years, but right now, obviously the manager's important, who the manager is, but right now, let's say Spurs need a new manager in the summer. If it's still under this same guise of Vinay and Lang, what is the most you can hope for, Sean? Like, what is, like, whether it's Poch or De Zerbi, what is the most we can hope for with the same setup?
Yeah, not a lot. Like listen, my viewpoint is that the owner's role should just be to fund the operation. Okay, that's it. Okay. You get people in that can generate enough revenue from the football club, and where necessary, dip money in if that's the way you can kick on. I don't want Vivian and Charlie making decisions on who should run the football club. I don't want them involved in the management of the football club. I don't want them involved really in the CEO. I don't know what Charrington is still doing at the football club. I don't know what he was there for. He was brought in as a fly on the wall to make sure that Daniel Levy wasn't doing anything disingenuous with regards to takeover ownership stuff. They stopped working with the Rothschild, not Rothschilds. Who was it? I forget the name.
It was
the Rothschilds. They stopped working with them, right? They cancelled that contract, so that they said, "Oh, we're not for sale anymore." Okay, so Charrington's no longer necessary. You've got rid of the guy that you didn't want in the club, which I think was a mistake. All things considered. What's he still doing there? What value does he possibly offer now? None, right? Nick Butcher, whoever the fuck he is, the son-in-law of Vivian, right? Yeah. What are you doing there? Why are you involved in the football club? You don't know anything about football. You've got no idea. Daniel Levy was a property guy, but Daniel Levy at least has spent 25 years in and around football clubs. He at least knows the long and the short of how these things go. So Vivian and Charlie, for me, there's no value to them being in anything other than someone who puts money into the football club when it's necessary, and obviously to have someone that can hire and fire someone that is necessary to run the football club. Vinay is a big fucking problem. He's a massive problem. I didn't know anything about him apart from his Arsenal ties. He's come in, and I was told that he was brilliant. Listen, I'll call Johnny out on it. Johnny made out like this guy Johnny made out like this. Johnny knew this guy that this guy was supposed to be something special. Okay, I don't know whether Johnny knew that or not, or whether he was just trying to because he was going through this period at the time where he was like first on the Charrington story. I don't know. Love Johnny to pieces. There's no hardship here. Nothing but just love to him. But he made out like Vinay was going to be some sort of saving grace. It hasn't proven to be the case. It hasn't. Vinay looks like an absolute donut to me. Complete bozo. Doesn't have the stones to make a tough decision. He fucked up with the co-directorship, and so absolutely no time for him. I've got no idea what Nick Butcher's doing in the club or what he's involved in. I've got no idea why Charrington is still there. Charrington was only supposed to be there to chaperone the Levy thing. Levy's gone.
He was there tonight, wasn't he? He was there tonight.
Therefore, Charrington should have gone as well. Right, so I've got no time for any of these people. The whole lipstick on a pig thing, like the new majority owners, shut the fuck up. You're all the same. I've got no interest in any of you. You guys are a disgrace. The only thing that you're there to do is to hire the people to run the football club and then to fund the football club when the football club can't fund itself. So I've got no time for absolutely any of them. Vinay's job is to make a decision around the DOF. He fucked up massively. Excuse me, I shouldn't be swearing so much. I'm annoyed though. He shouldn't have done that. He's made a mistake with what he did with the co-directorship. You know what? Paratici's gone. Johan Lang needs to go. In terms of your question, Savva, where do we move forward? Does it matter whether you have a new manager here, a new manager there? No, it doesn't. Does it matter whether the ownership put 500 million quid into the football club in the summer or someone else does? No, because if you still have a problem profiling players, if you still have a problem between deciding, oh, we're going to put all our eggs into the Semenyo basket, whoever the next Semenyo is, if you're going to waste time expecting him to join and he doesn't, you wasted all this time, right? There's nobody at the football club that has a clear plan and clear path and direction. So for me, that's why I've always said, De Zerbi, bring him in. He'll be fun. He'll be fun, right? He'll be fun. It will be hella fun. It'll be hella fun. Is he going to be the solution? Of course not. Not whilst you have all the other crazy chaos at the top. Bring in Pochettino. Is he going to be the solution? Absolutely not. But you've got to scratch that itch. One last shag with your ex, whatever, right? The solution has to be, I don't think it requires new ownership. I think new ownership is preferable, but it requires a director of football and a CEO and an alignment. Like we've spoken about this 1,000 times. It requires a Ralph Rangnick and a Nagelsmann. It requires a Poch and a Paul Mitchell. But it requires continuity, alignment in between those two people. And it requires a CEO that says, you guys do the football stuff. You do it, right? You have the money, you figure it out, you're the plan. But does Vinay have the ability to really trust himself? No. Does he have the ability to trust someone else that wants to come in? No. So he's not the guy either. So De Zerbi will be fun. Pochettino will be a one last kiss, but neither of them will work for me. whilst you have a DOF that doesn't have any kind of razzmatazz, he doesn't have the ratatata, and Vinay who can't make a tough decision. Beyond that, above that, yeah, sure, you want better, you want new, you want different, cool. I don't think those things are going to happen unless there's a big change of plan, but we can't force that anyway. So to answer your question, nothing really matters. Nothing really changes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, Lubo, let me ask you, back to the Pochettino thing, and it feels like Pochettino is the get out of jail card for ENIC, right? It very much does, right?
Absolutely.
But would you bring him back if you still knew it was under Lang? Like, if Lang was the director of football, are you still going, oh, well, that's changed everything because Pochettino will make him sign X, Y, Z?
I don't think Pochettino comes back under that with Lang at the club. I don't see it at all because Poch isn't stupid. They'll be looking at what's going on at Spurs. Poch would have had, obviously he's had 5.5 years. And most of that time, with underinvestment in players, underinvestment in wages, and he'll look at it and he'll I'm sure he'd love to come back to the club, but the conditions have got to be right for him. There's no point in him coming back if the owners are going to treat him in exactly the same way. There's going to be a lack of investment, and he's coming back to a much weaker squad. So for me, he needs backing. It's this summer's going to go one way or another. If we get relegated, you've got a massive fire sale. And if we don't get relegated, they have got an absolute fortune they've got to spend. So,
Luke, can I ask you a quick question? If we go down, just hypothetically, will this be the most money ever generated from one club in one summer window from Tottenham? I.e., Van der Ven will go, Romero will go. There's no way Xavi Simons, Dominic Solanke, Conor Gallagher, there's no way these guys stick around to play Porro, Ado. There's no way.
With the inflation in transfer fees that we've had over the years, then you're going to get a much higher value fire sale than Leeds had in the early 2000s.
Well, maybe it's a good thing. We go down, sell everyone, and pay off the stadium debt, and we all start again. Maybe this is part of the plan.
Sav, they not only are they 700-800 million in debt, they owe 300 million in transfers. So it is absolutely horrendous.
They probably owe money in transfers as well, though. To be fair.
So
they're not even paying down the debt. They're just paying. They've got an interest only.
It's about 30 million, I think, Rain. I think for the interest is 30 million.
Yeah.
Which I think
you've got to laugh, right? Like I'm sitting here nervously laughing, like, we won't go down. Don't be silly. We're far too good. And I've just got this kind of, you ever get these premonitions in your mind I've got this premonition of me sitting here doing the last game of the season and sitting there at the end going,
does it happen? Yeah, I've got to tell you, Sav, we cheered that Sesko goal tonight in the last. We're just nearly home, and we had the match on the radio, and we cheered when that ball went in the back of the net. It was like, Jesus, thank God for that. At least we got a 5-point cushion, not 3.
Can I ask you, should there be a fire, guys? All of you, should there be a fire sale anyway? Because for me, there's too many players now that have been here under too many different managers with Paratici, with Lang, that are part of this bad. What's the word I'm looking for?
Toxic dressing room atmosphere.
Yeah. So like Bentancur's been there for
atmosphere, culture.
Like so, Bentancur's been there through all of this, right? Jed Spencer's been there through all of this. Porro has been there through all of this. Ben Davis, Destiny Udogie now is coming up to 4 years of being part of this. Richarlison, Romero. Is there something to be said for if you're going to have a clean sweep in the summer, that it needs to be a clean sweep and we need to get rid of some of the kind of stalwarts out the door? Because the one thing, let me start with you, Rain, on this. Because the one thing I always hear, which really frustrates me now as we go manager to manager, is every time a player's not doing well, it's always, yeah, but under a different manager. And some of these players now have had 3 or 4 or 5 different managers at Tottenham and nothing's changing. So do we need a clean sweep of players as well as director of football and manager? Do we need that as well? And you're on mute before you start speaking. Old school, schoolboy era.
But we can't get rid of them. We can't get rid of them. There was even talk that we were going to give Bissouma a new contract so that we could sell him. It's just like, what planet are you living? We can't. Nobody's buying these players. You know, that's been a perpetual problem at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club.
You don't think we could sell Romero and Porro and Benton? You don't think we could sell those 3, for example?
I think if clubs had come in for Romero in the summer, he would have forced his way out. That's what I think. And I think Atletico Madrid came in and they were offering like 30, 35 million, and it just wasn't enough for him to force his way out. And no other club came in. If you know, as much as I like Romero and you know his qualities as a footballer, if in the summer Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, you know, if another Premier League club had come in, he would have forced his way out. I'm absolutely certain. He would have made his way out if another club had actually offered the money. Van der Ven clearly is a player who we can sell. But then you're going down the list. Bentancur. Who's going to buy Bentancur, Bissouma, Udogie, Tell, Odebear? So I actually thought Sarr had a half decent game today. By the way,
I just think he can't pass a football for love nor money, though. It's like
right.
It's like watching an athlete rather than a footballer. But sorry,
absolutely, and that's a massive problem with a whole load of our squad. Spence, Porro, a lot of these players, Richarlison, right? A lot of these players we're not selling if for no other reason than they've spent so much time on the treatment table. Nobody is going to take a risk on them.
I mean, Sean, let me ask you this, right? Because I said on your show earlier, for me, this is the collective worst I've seen Tottenham from all different departments since I've supported Spurs, right? I think this is the collective I've seen in terms of players, manager, chairman, director of football, etc. But
yeah,
what would we use these words all the time, what would a rebuild look like? Like we talk about these words, but you know, lots of people stick up for Romero, even though he's shit most games. Like he gets stuck up for all the time.
Not me, bro. Fuck him.
No, of course. No, not me and you, of course. But like, do you see what I'm saying, Sean? How do we churn this so that there's fresh blood in, so that there's no, oh, Romero runs the dressing room. Why does Romero run the dressing room? He's not good enough to run a dressing room. He's not consistent enough. Do you see what I'm saying, Sean?
Yeah, I do. Mate, I'm at the point where I don't really know. I'll be honest. I don't really know what the solution is at Tottenham.
Yeah, me neither.
I feel like it's really opaque. There's so many things that are wrong. You know, even like people say, just ENIC out or whatever. Cool. It doesn't mean the next group are going to be any better. It doesn't mean that they're going to know what they're doing either. You know? Doesn't just be different. Doesn't mean better. But at the same time, you know, with regards like Thomas Frank, you're saying, well, we don't necessarily know where we're going to go, but if we stick with Thomas Frank at the moment, it feels like we're going to go down. If you stick with ENIC either way, it feels like you're not going to change. So it's going to be a continuation down that path. Because these guys don't really seem like they know what they're doing. They're stuck with an asset that they weren't that particularly bothered about the footballing side of. And as time has gone on, it feels like they're increasingly incapable of coming up with like the people on Twitter, the pretend ITKs that say like, oh, you know what, they honestly don't know what to do. Whether they're making that up or otherwise, like it kind of feels like that's probably real. True, like they clearly don't know what they want to do or how to do it. So in terms of like the dressing room stuff, I mean, like, you know, what I would say, I've said this before, I genuinely do think it doesn't, even if you had owners that came in, let's say that the tech DJ, my boy, my man, right? Let's say that he comes in and he buys the entire club and he puts 1.4 billion into working capital, and he goes and hires a brilliant DOF, right? And he goes and hires a brilliant manager, and then he goes and spends every single penny that there is within the wiggle room on PSR, and they find a way to convince everybody that you want to come. Adam Whartons and Carlos Beliebers and insert whoever the fuck you want there. And we spend 500 million quid. Okay. And next summer you go, wow, what a summer. What a summer. If we continue with the same injury crisis, nothing's going to change, right? You're not going to have you're not going to have 24 players, 25 players in the squad that are all worth 100 million quid. So even if you filled out the squad with as many players as you could, if you went and got a left winger that is a 100 million pound player, if you went and got, it's never going to happen, but just in this hypothetical, if you went and got Adam Wharton, if you went and got Semenyo, if you went and got whoever, Yandy Mandy, and yet the current theme around injuries continues, then by January next year, doesn't matter how much money you spent, you're still back down to kids on the bench, right? So for me, I don't know what the solution is around the medical thing, but I think it's a bigger problem than people prioritize. I think people say it's the owners first, then the DOF, then the manager, then the player, whatever, in whichever order. But the medical thing is for me the biggest concern. If you were to take 13 players out of Manchester City's team or 13 players out of Arsenal's team, do you really think Arsenal would be would be on the points level they're at?
Of course. And by the way, Sean, something to mention as well. The only slight defense I'll make for that performance tonight. Someone made a good point in the chat just now and said, you've got to remember in that game tonight, you got Dominic Solanke, who's just come back from 6 months out playing more than he should because we've got injuries. Yep. Dragosin's come back after 1 year out and was not meant to be playing this many games in such a quick time. Conor Gallagher himself said this week that he's not 100% fit due to lack of football and he's still working his way back. Jed Spence isn't fit and shouldn't be playing. You know, Mickey van der Ven was probably rushed back for the Man United game quicker because we didn't have... And you're looking at it, it's not only
I didn't play for 6 weeks in the AFCON. That's going to have an impact. Like it goes on and on and on. And so, like, for me, like I honestly don't know what the solution is, but figuring out the medical crisis at Tottenham, there has to be something. Like, the fact of the matter that we are so far up the top of the table when it comes to injuries over the last couple of years, last 3 years, whatever. There has to be something that is that currently unknown, or maybe they do know it. Maybe they do. I said this the other day on Spurs 5. Maybe they do know what the solution is or what the problem is. And unfortunately, the problem is a £500 under soil pitch thing, which they can't do anything about. And they don't want that to get out because then it will kind of debunk the entire stadium myth, all that sort of thing. I don't know, right? And again, that's alleged, but I'm just saying, until you fix that, it doesn't matter. Like, if that thing is going to continue, it doesn't matter whether you have new owners, new managers, new DOFs, new money, new players. It doesn't matter. What you can deal with is probably your profiling of players. So stop buying players that come with a history of injury crisis, because they only seem to happen and get worse at Tottenham. So when you go and buy Sousa, as much as I'm intrigued to see what he's like, the reality is the guy's had 3 seasons of football in his career. He's only managed 26 professional games before he came to Tottenham. Why? Because he's got injury concerns. We bought Mickey van der Ven. Okay, he's been great this year, but he came with a hamstring injury issue, right? Kudus, known for having injuries. Dom Solanke has had injuries in the past. Like, every player we seem to buy is a player that comes with injury histories and then they get worse at Tottenham. Radu Dragosin had injuries when he was in Italy. Like, I think that maybe part of the profiling needs to be not just about whether you're a good player, whether you're a good fit for the strategy, but also, are you superhuman? Because that would really help.
We bought that Japanese kid, and he was literally injured as he walked in the door. And it's just like, who is doing their job? It's not only did he not, it's not that he got injured when he arrived and something happened. He's got a congenital foot problem that they didn't spot. I mean, that's just...
Well, this here, by the way, slightly off this data, guys, because this is actually, this was published on the 13th of January. So we're going back a month. But even then, you can see Spurs, that number, it's a bit blurred. That number is the most days missed through injury, 959, right? Palace are 898, and then you have to, and then everyone else is so far back, like Chelsea on 810. Then you got a few clubs in the 700s. Sean is right though, Lubo, isn't he? Like there's fundamentally, this has now been 2.5 seasons where this is injury after injury after injury. And now, I don't know what you think, guys.
I've just made a list.
This is like by game by game. Like last game, it was, that was a Dogie. Today, it's Odeber. Who's it going to be against Arsenal? Mickey van der... Like, do you know what I mean? This is every game we seem to be picking up massive injuries, Lubo. They're never one-day injuries.
Okay. I looked at the 11 players that are out, that are missing, including Odebears tonight. Apart from Richie, which I think was a training injury, and that was because he was, again, he's had his injury problems. He was pushed to play it. He was probably overplayed. And I'd say Kudus was overplayed as well. But you look at the others. Porro, Odebear, Maddison, Kulu, Davis, Bentancur, Danso, Udogie, all injured during games. Now that can happen. And you can be unlucky. You can be unlucky. I've been following Spurs since '65. I can't remember another year where we've had injuries like this. And I know last year was bad, but it wasn't as bad as this. This year tops last year. And I just think this year, virtually all the injuries have been match injuries, impact injuries. You've had the odd hamstring injury like Udogie. Mickey's missed a couple of games with a hamstring. Maddison, we know, was knee. Kulu was thigh. Davis was broken ankle. Bentancur was, I'm trying to think what Bentancur's was that an ankle, a knee injury? Kudus was a quad. Danso was a toe. Udogie was hamstring. Porro was thigh injury, I think. Odebear, we don't know yet. But it looked as though from where we were sitting, someone around us thought it might have been a jarring of a knee.
He was down a long time as well, wasn't he? He was down a long time with it.
Before he walked off. So can we not look at a situation and say, do you know what? If players are being injured in match situations, unless you're picking up injuries because you're being overplayed, like Kudus,
not necessarily, mate. If the pitch is part of the problem,
well, or conditioning. It just because you're getting the matches are the high stress environment. That's where you're most likely to, that's where you should get injuries, because that's where you should be putting the most amount of effort in. But what you do before that is you do a lot of conditioning to make sure that you're in a physical fit, you have physical fitness and physical condition to actually survive the match. So
for
maybe
muscle injuries, yes, but Madison's was an ACL. Kulu was a patella. That's nothing to do with conditioning.
The amount of
we're not. None of us are medical people, are we? Like we're never going to get to the bottom of it. We can speculate to the end of the day, but that there is a problem. We just have to hope that somebody in the football club is actually working on this, and changing medical people every 5 minutes doesn't seem to make any difference.
Doesn't help, does it? That doesn't.
It doesn't. No, it does not help. I think maybe it might hurt. I don't know, but like none of us are medical people.
A knock-on effect. Like you're right. None of us are medical experts, but isn't this just all a knock-on effect? The more that we have large volumes of players out, the more stress it puts on the players.
Of course, yeah, it's a spiral. It's a spiral.
You're spiraling out of control. And look, I don't like the injury excuse. I didn't like it last year. I don't really like it this year. But the club as a whole, forget the managers for a moment, the club as a whole have a huge issue. You cannot operate as a top football club and every year you've got half your squad missing. You just can't. Like you said it, Sean. If Arsenal had this,
they wouldn't be anywhere near it. If City had it, they wouldn't be anywhere near it. Look at who was number 2 on that list. Crystal Palace. When did most of their injuries happen? Around October, November, right? They started the season really well. Injuries kick in, then get them back, and then they drop all the way down, right? Liverpool's third, right? And Liverpool also have got, problems. All I'm saying is that it is a massive issue. It's a huge issue. I don't think any of us can figure out what the solution is, but you just hope that is the priority for them, because for me, it doesn't matter who the manager is. And again, it doesn't really matter even how much money you spend. It doesn't matter what you raise the wage bill to. That none of these things matter if I said earlier, sorry, I saw people saying actually Sean Dragerson didn't come with any injuries and Solanke didn't have any injuries. Okay, so if these players come without any injury histories and they get them at Tottenham, then are we cursed? I don't know. Should we get an exorcist at the football club? Yeah. I don't know what the solution is, but it's real, right? Ryan Sessegnon signs for Tottenham having never had an injury or very few injuries, comes to us, spends 5 years on the injury list, then fucks off back to Fulham, and he's never had an injury since. I think that's pretty accurate, or fairly accurate. I might be wrong on that, right? But there's definitely a problem, and to me, it's the number one problem at the football club, because if Tottenham had a full strength squad, we wouldn't be anywhere near the problems that we're in. Thomas Frank's job wouldn't be under threat. If Thomas Frank gets sacked tonight, let's be entirely honest, none of us will have any real clue whether he could have done a better job at Tottenham or would have done a better job at Tottenham had he not been dealt the cards that he's been dealt. But the same cards that he's been dealt to a similar degree is what Ange was dealt as well. For me, the pecking order of priorities, number one has to be fixing the medical thing. I just don't know how you go about doing that because I'm not a medical person.
Do you know what I think, Sean? That the whole club needs brand new with everything. Owners, medical, a whole new squad.
We say this every week, right? But it's just unrealistic, is it? Like, that doesn't happen. I'm just saying, like, in the reality, the owners are only ever going to leave when the owners want to leave. And even then, if the owners leave, if my DJ and fucking the geezer from Wing Fire, whatever his name is, if they all come in, here's all the money in the world, go for it. Qatar come in, take over, Saudi, whatever. Everyone's going to go, we've got our Tottenham back because ENIC are gone. But we've still got a squad of 25 players, 17 of them which are injured. Sorry, there's reality, there's delusion, there's like utopia.
No,
we're somewhere in between it.
Sure, but you'll bring in a new manager, and a manager will look at the injury records. He'll look at the players' abilities. He'll look at videos. He'll do analysis with his analysts, and look.
And nothing will change because we get injured all the time, regardless of the manager. Like, sorry, but Vivian Lewis and Charlie Lewis, Daniel Levy and Joe Lewis, whoever, they're not responsible for the injury crisis. I know you want to put everything back to the ownership, but they're not responsible for the injury crisis.
No, I've just said, can't the club have been unlucky this year because most of the injuries have occurred during
this is now the third year in a row where we're having, if I'm not wrong, we started that season brilliantly under Ange. If I remember rightly, around November, December, we picked up a number of injuries, right? If I'm not wrong, picked up a number of injuries, and then we got them back at the end of the year.
Last year, Madison, Van der Ven and Richie in one match.
Right. Last year, we had loads of injuries. This year, we've got loads of injuries. But the problem is, forget what manager you like or what owners you like. As a football club, how can you put your best foot forward and give yourself the best opportunity of ever competing if you're constantly having to plaster over teams? So that's not the right word. If you're constantly having to just kind of put together bandaged up football teams. Every game we're having to go, oh God, well, these people, those 6 aren't available, those 11 aren't available. Right. He can go right.
But that doesn't change. That doesn't change if Qatar take over, does it?
Not overnight.
No, of course. I'm saying that needs to be, whoever it is, that needs to be really looked into, Sean, because when we've got our full squad, I don't expect Tottenham Hotspur to be sitting in 16th place in the Premier League. I don't.
100% not. When we're probably 7th, 8th, somewhere around there. We're competing with whoever's in Aston Villa or whatever.
7th or 8th, sort of thing.
Wherever. Who knows, right? The gap between 4th and 10th is about 3 points, right? But I'm just for me, I'm not saying that the injuries are the only reason we are where we are. Of course not. All the other problems still exist, but I'm just saying, like, none of those problems none of that problem, which is a massive problem, isn't solved by just changing the owner.
No, of course. Listen, that's why I think every department, if anyone could tell me what's a good department at Tottenham Hotspur, other than our marketing team, who seem to be able to post out at any moment of any day to ask us to buy shit, right? Can anyone tell me a good department at Tottenham right now? Anywhere where you go, that's good.
There isn't.
Have we got more commercial partners than fit players? I think we must do.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we must do. Right. But the thing for me with the injured players as well is we don't seem to have any kind of willingness to solve the. We got Richarlison, right? We got Richarlison, and he's been perpetually injured, and yet he's still at our club. Why not deal with it and go, look, mate, it's not working out. You know, we're either just gonna go and find a different club, or we're just gonna end this, right? And we're gonna get another player in. Your doggy. I don't know what he was like in Italy, but he's been perpetually injured. So what you need to do is you need to realise where these problems are, and actually try to deal with them in the best way possible. That's either getting rid of players or trying to sell them on. Make them somebody else's problem.
Right. His 2 seasons, right? Destiny's a good one. His 2 seasons in Italy were, from a league perspective, the most games he's played in his career. So they were the 2 highest games. So he played 35 in 21-22 and 33 in 22-23. The most he's played at Tottenham is 28. Then the next season was 25. This year's 13. So his career is going like, it's doing that every season. It's getting worse and worse in terms of his availability. He's 23 years of age.
I know. And by the way, Rain, Richie wouldn't leave in the summer.
Just tell him we're not going to list you. Just tell him we're not going to list you. We're not going to list you. You can stay all you want, but won't be on the Premier League list. Go and find yourself another club.
But it's everyone though. Like, Sean, we talked about this before, right? And by the way, guys and girls, I will wrap up in the next 5-10 minutes. But, you know, Dominic Solanke, I don't think had ever had an injury, right? Like, and you know what's coming, guys, don't you? Conor Gallagher has never missed a game through injury, has he? Did you see that stat? He's never missed. You're on mute, Sean. He's never missed a game in his career through injury. How long until Conor Gallagher we get? Oh, Conor Gallagher's tweaked his thigh or something. You watch.
Yeah, and he's very good at drawing fouls. So at some point he's going to get the wrong one.
Mawani had missed two games. Look, and he instantly had a 5-week layoff with the worst dead leg that's ever existed in professional sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, I listen. The funny thing is, you know, and we will wrap up in a minute, guys. I think everyone's tired. I think everyone's frustrated and upset with Spurs at the moment. But, you know, like sometimes when you watch a channel, like when I watch Liverpool channels every now and then, they're not worried about their squad. They're not really worried about their owners. They're not really worried about stadium. It is manager. Right. It's one thing. Whenever we're talking as Spurs fans, it's fucking the full kit and caboodle, isn't it? It's bloody everything where we're going. This is just a mess. This is a mess. And I really don't. I'm like Sean now. I used to come onto YouTube channel and I'd have adamant I know the answer. Now I don't know fuck all.
Yeah, I don't know anymore.
I
sure as fuck no, I'm not doing any Tottenham transfer news, views and clues content until I know whether Tottenham is safe. Because what's the point of talking about players that are coming in the summer if we don't know what league we're playing in? So yeah. I need Tottenham to get some results, but I honestly don't know. I don't know where you're right, Savva, by the way, that Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans, there's none of that stuff. It's just what's the right recipe of what we have to get what we need on the weekend. Whereas we spend 3/4 of our time as Tottenham fans talking about things that we can't change anyway, or not that we can even change the tactics, but that we have no real, so many people present solutions that will never materialize. So then they're never wrong.
But
not that I care about being right or wrong, but so many people.
Of course.
The solution is to do this. Yeah, but that's never going to happen. So, like, are you just saying that because you want to give a solution to a question that no one can ever say, well, that didn't work out, you know? But like most other football clubs are just sitting there saying, who should we play on the weekend? How do we do it? What's the right, what do we need to this guy to do more from? Whereas we're sitting there going, well, the owners or the DOF, like, no one else does that. No one else does that. Very few.
No one else. Do you know what? But Sean, the other clubs are football clubs. They're proper football clubs, 100%. Pretty much.
I mean, you mentioned Liverpool. Fenway Group know how to run sports clubs.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I
don't even hear Nottingham Forest fans talk about whether Marinakis should be there or not. You know, they don't do that. They just sit there and figure out whether or not the manager's the right guy and the players or how to get the best out of them. And Nottingham Forest are no better off than Tottenham. They're beneath us in the tape. They're one of the 4 teams that are beneath us. You know, they're in just as much of a mess as we are, but they don't sit there and argue all day long about whether or not the ownership is the right solution, because they probably know that there's no point in doing that, because Marinakis isn't going anywhere, because Wolfie and 4 of his mates have a debate about whether or not Marinakis has really got his best interests at heart. You know what I mean? Like, we're wasting our time, but it seems like it's a non-stop conversation in the Tottenham world because of people like Lubo.
No, as I said, Sean, I said to you, right? I've done YouTube for 5 years, and before that, I had a podcast for 2 years on various different platforms. In those 7 years alone, right, nothing has changed. Everything I'm talking about now, not just me, but everything I'm talking about now is literally the same shit then. The owners, what's happening in the transfer window? Is this manager good enough? We never seem to have a period of calm, do we? We never seem to have a couple of years of calm where we go, this is good. We like what we're buying. We like what we're planning. We like the manager. We like the... Never.
But that's the thing, though, Sav. When Liverpool win, I'm sure Liverpool fan channels' views go up. When Liverpool lose, they might also go up as well, right? When Tottenham win, the views go down.
Oh, yeah, the views are shit.
Tottenham fans are conditioned to argue. Tottenham fans are conditioned to be miserable. That's why I want to see De Zerbi come in, because, you know, it's going to be fun. There's no calm. There's no calm waters when De Zerbi is. It's going to be choppy as hell. You can get your boogie board out and you can ride the wave, or you can get absolutely smashed up in the wake. You know, that's what I want. Like, bring me De Zerbi, bro. It's going to be fun.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see our club on social media with new owners, because that's never happened. And I want to see us with new owners.
You're not going anywhere.
It's not going to happen, Lubo.
I think they'll sell within a couple of years, Sean. I really do. I genuinely think they'll sell.
You know what, though, Lubo? I think I've heard different people. Rain, thanks very much, mate. I'm going to end in a minute anyway, but if you need to jump, feel free, bro. Thank you for coming on. Lubo, I must have heard for the last 10, 15 years, not from you, just from so many of our fans, I think it's close. I reckon they're going to sell next year. They're still here, right? Not only are they still here, if I'm not wrong, this summer was the first time where we actually had expressions of interest that were made public, that we went, no, we batted them away. No,
didn't we have record revenue this season? The reports, record revenue, they ain't going anywhere. Lubo, you're delusional, mate.
No, I've got to tell you, Sean, the football is the core part of their business at Tottenham Hotspur. It is going to cost them a fortune to get Spurs back up competing. A fortune. Do they want to spend that money, or do they want
back up from the Championship?
Well, it could be. I mean, at the moment, you know, their asset.
Championship.
Their asset.
Or would we be all Spursy on the last day of the season and finish 7th and not even make the playoffs?
Well, I've got to tell you something. Last day of the season, we got the draw at Southampton in 78, and Southampton hit the post after 15 minutes. It was like, oh my God! It's like, what the hell was going on? And we hung on and hung on.
Right? You know how we talk about like we talked about it in January. Do we really want to be signing Somerville, right? Signing on a 4 or 5 year deal just to have more Deadwood?
Yeah.
If we go down and everyone goes transfer request, and there's 23 transfer requests, we're going to have to acknowledge a lot of those people are going to leave, right? We're going to have to go and buy a bunch of new championship level players or lower Premier League level players on 3 or 4 year deals. We are.
Oh, it's going to be a mess. That's a great point, Sean. When you go down,
even if you come back up, you're stuck with people you don't want.
So I had this conversation the other day, right? And when somebody said to me, "Yeah, but all the kids will shine in the championship," I'm like, "Hang on, you're forgetting what this league and that league is like. That league is not a league for children. That is a league where you need seasoned pros that have been there, seen it, and done it, right?"
Yeah. All of our current top kids are on loan, and barely any of them play in the championship.
Right. So, but the problem is, Sean, what you just said. So then we have to go. Let's say Solanke, Kudus, Xavi Simons, Paulinho's left to go back to Bayern. Gallagher goes, Sarr goes, Van der Ven, Romero, Adogi, Porro. They all go, right? You've now got to go and sign a squad on, as you said, proper long contracts, right? 3 or 4 year deals. And then when you go up to the Premier League, if you get back up to the Premier League, you're going, "Oh, shit, we need to strengthen it."
So all of a sudden, this model where you can just throw money, because we spent so much, we wasted so much money. This model where you can just spend all this money just goes out the window. That's when you really need someone who's got scouting nous. I just went and just double checked with McGinn, right? Absolutely cracking Villa player. Been great for them. They bought him when they were in the championship. That was somebody went and found McGinn and went, he'll do a really good job for us, and he's been fantastic for Villa. Do we think we've got anyone at our club who's got that kind of scouting ability? Yeah.
We'd have, can you imagine next year, and Lubo would love this, we'd have Kinski in goal, we'd have Byfield, Rousewell, Sosa and Dorrington at the back four. We'd have Alfie
Phillips Dorrington. You'd have
Phillips. Okay, we'd have
Jamie Donnelly would finally get a chance, Lubo.
We'd have Gray and Bergvall with Donnelly in the 10.
Championship experience. Yeah.
Gray will be captain 3 years before he would have taken over anyway.
Fucking God! By the way, I'm not going to get Lubo all upset. Fuck me, that boy is weak as piss, isn't he? Oh
what a bloody good game! What a great second half he had. Sorry,
God.
Do me a favour.
Everyone in my chat, Lubo. Do you know how many 50-50s in that second half? The people in my chat are going, "Oh, come on, Gray, man up a bit." Like he's just weak. Anyway, guys, this is we jest because it's the 11th.
No, Savva, it's real. It's real. We're going to have to sign championship level players on 3-year contracts.
He's just weak. He's just a weak footballer. Anyway, we won't go into that. I love that.
He hasn't grown into his body yet. He's just a kid. We bought him 3 years too young. Male human beings don't grow into their bodies until they're 21 years old. That's just fact. It's just the way it is.
I'm still waiting, Rain. I'm still waiting.
Go back and have a look.
I grew into mine early, to be honest.
Yeah, fair. Go back and he needs to just get on. He just needs to have some Sunday roasts. Go back and have a look at Harry.
Take him out for a couple of weeks with me. Come down the Casa de Butler. I'll put on some weight for the kid. You know what I mean?
Right, just quickly. Anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the super chats and end the show. Before I do, I'm going to put a poll out, right? Are Spurs getting relegated? Guys, while I'm doing the super chats, everyone in the comments, there's nearly 1,000 of you still. Please post. This is not going to make nice reading. But if we go down, just before I do the super chats, what happens to Spurs YouTube?
No, that's why I've been diversifying my approach, mate. That's why I'm leaving. That's why you're leaving. I'll be coming with you on the Spurs Talk Show. The Spurs Talk Show's dead. I'm gonna rebrand Spurs Talk Show to Rabbit Hole Ramblings, and we're gonna become a political channel. That's what we're doing.
People have already started saying to me, "Yeah, Savva's quitting because he knows we're going down." I'm like, I made this decision about 4 months ago. I just didn't tell anyone. I didn't think we were going down. Right, let me do some super chats. A big up to each and every one of you. And by the way, can we all please, before we go to bed tonight, just say a nice little prayer for Benjamin Sesko, who's done us all proud tonight with that last gasp goal from old Sesko.
My overrated absolute bozo. Well done.
And a prayer for the Man United fan who was going to get his hair cut tonight if they'd won.
Listen, that guy knew he wanted a draw. He was delighted because his relevance continues.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
it's like a helmet.
Hang on. Back your manager, you poo. Back your manager, you poo little weasel. I love it. My God, this channel is going the worst football takes. I agree. What a shit channel. Cancel it right now. Right now. I love it when people troll me and can't even spell. It makes it so funny for me.
Your show this morning was fucking top notch, mate. It was so fun to listen to.
Did you like it? Let's see what I can look at the last comments that this person made to me. The last comment before this was go on, Maz, give it to the know nothing little weasel. He's got a thing about me being a weasel, isn't he? What's wrong? Do you need a cuddle? Do you want the link? Do you need a cuddle? You're very angry. Very angry. Back your manager. Okay, Frank in. There you go, Frank in. Let me do the super chats. Fucking ridiculous. Oh, God, the internet has got a lot to answer for. Ace Kev, 1961, has said 2 wins in 17 games. God, that's shit in it. We are going down with Frank. It would have to be a terrible interim to do worse. Sure. Yep. But the interim coming in can't do the same. They've got to do better. The point is not just to get somebody on. It's got to be someone better. We'll see. We'll see what happens if he goes. Big up to you, Ace Kev. Mr. Spock's office. Brilliant. Said, so awful. This calls for Lubo's 7-point manifesto. No one has time for Lubo's 7-point manifesto. No one's got time for it tonight. Big up to you. Thank you very much. Phil Coys said, Robbie Keane, King and Dawson as a trio for me. Sure. Robbie Keane, Ledley King and Dawson all on the bench making decisions together. I'm here for it. Let's do it. Do you know what? I've got a better idea. Why not get King and Dawson at centre half, right? And get Robbie Keane up front. We might look better. Big up to you, Phil. Destiny 5 said Ramsey and Willock played for us. We would laugh. Well, no, listen, as I said, there's a lot of players that play for other clubs that we always dismiss that always seem to do bits and bobs. But hey, listen, they did well tonight and they schooled us, to be honest. Big up to the Shermanator. Said, Savva, I know Brighton very well. Me too. I've had many a good night out in Brighton. De Zerbi needs a very confident ball-playing keeper and centre-backs. It would be a car crash. Maybe Kinski, but I'd be scared. Shermanator, let's be brutally honest. If you bring any manager in here that plays any form of possession-based keep ball football, they need to bring in 10 to 12 new players to make this shit happen, mate. As I've said this all along. Big up to you. Big up to 3-Star Reds, who said, for my super chat, please take Dyche and Edu. Would anyone take Dyche and Edu instead of Lang and Frank?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. I was hoping someone might say yes for comedic effect, but it didn't happen, 3-Star Reds. Big up to you, Mr. Spock's office again. Said time to give Frodo Grodas a game. Oh, God, who remembers Frodo Grodas? Jesus Christ, that's a blast from the past. Big up to you, Mr. Spock's office. Where did you dig that name out from? Dean Law, always with a super sticker. Thank you very much, Dean. Much love, as always. Really appreciate you. Syed Akhtar said, Savva, I met you at the number 8 after West Ham. Yes, I remember. I hope you're doing well, my friend. He said, I have a tear in my eye. I've accepted relegation. Dude, not yet. You can't accept. Not yet. We're not even in the bottom 3. I grew up and live on Worcester Avenue. I'm effing worried about us. Guys, Saeed's buying his season ticket for the championship price already. We're going down according to Saeed. Big up to you, my man. Thank you very much. Destiny 5 said, lost 1-2 players under Jose, Conte, Poch. Same pitch. Something's got to be happening, mate. Something's got to be happening. I have no idea. But big up to you, Destiny. Mr. Spock's office again for the penultimate super chat said, somewhere in a land far away, Ben raises his hand. Oh, bottom of the V, Ben. You talking about bottom of the V, Ben? Yeah, bottom of the V. Yeah, big up to you. And last but not least, a user said, we will be known as the Spurs submarine. New depths. A user, thank you very much. Guys, I don't know what else there is to say anymore. Maybe Lubo was right all along. We should have kept Jamie Donnelly. Maybe that would have solved all our attacking problems this season.
If he's right about that, that's the only thing he's right about, because he's certainly not right about Daniel Levy. But yeah, anyway, we'll pick that up tomorrow, shall we, Lubo?
We'll take it up tomorrow, Sean. Even Thursday, mate. Whenever.
As we
hurtle down the league.
This the club. 25 years and this the club. The same owners. Exactly. Nothing changed.
Exactly.
Just quickly, in the poll, by the way, are Spurs getting relegated? Out of 176 votes, 60% have said yes.
Well, this is a club.
Rain, thank you very much. Any last words you'd like to leave us with before we all go?
10 days. 10 days until Arsenal.
12.
12 days. It'll be really interesting to see what happens in that time. Obviously, Spurs is gonna content. We're all expecting. Can we do something against Arsenal?
No. No, not right now. We can't.
It's going to be a fucking shit show.
Oh, God, it's going to be awful. Lubo.
I'll take 2-0 right now.
Any last words, Lubo? And just a quick question for you, Lubo. Is Kane still coming?
Now, I saw my ICK before the match. He says he wants to come back. He wants to break the record. I said, well, it doesn't look like it's anytime soon. And he didn't.
How many do you think he'd score in the Championship in a 46-game season?
Can you imagine? Probably about 80.
Yeah, bring him back. Bring him back. Kane, we need you to get back into the Premier League, mate.
Lubo, can we all agree that if that's the strength of your source, right? So all the other stuff that you've been saying, where I've been eye roll doing this for the last 3 years with you. Now we know that if it's coming from the same level, can we all just agree that Lubo's sources are not worth a lot?
No,
I love you, Lubo.
Listen, this is the only one that does it.
Oh, fuck off.
The only one.
The only one he's got wrong, he says.
Sean, shall we talk about your source coming out of Luton at the beginning of this season?
Not my source.
Well, I do believe I saw a video that got taken down within an hour.
You saw it. You saw a video. Yeah, you did. Yeah, I
did. Second point, yeah.
Stanley has woken up. Do you know what? Stanley went to sleep.
He's got big. Stanley's got big, bro.
I know. He's massive now. He's massive.
He's a big boy. He's a big boy.
When he jumps up, he doesn't quite realise he's grown. So everything just hurts that bit more when he treads on me. Sean, any last words that you would like to say before we wake up to the amazing news tomorrow that nothing's changed?
No final words. Appreciate you, mate. I'm tired. I've got to go to bed. Love you, man. Love everyone.
Well done. Guys, take care. Let me see if there is anyone I can chuck you over to. I'm not sure if there's going to be anybody going live at this time of night. Maybe TalkSport. I don't think they accept redirects. Customization, 1 second, people. Redirect. Who is live?
Redirect it to small sport and put in Savva Raid, yeah.
Savva Raid. I'll send you all over to the only person I can see that is live is Saeed. So Savva Raid, FHTV, go to bed, whatever you want to do. Guys, girls, is tomorrow the day? I don't think so, but we'll see. Take care. Thanks, Rain. Thanks, Lubo. Thanks, Sean. And thank you very much, Tottenham Hotspur, for ruining more days of our lives.
Yeah.
Bye.